Eli Plima is CEO of the Independent Power Generators Ghana, IPGG. Eli, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you should not be bothered about a timetable otherwise. I mean, you as a chamber, not necessarily you as a person. But the issue is that many hold a view that what we are seeing now is because of capacity, and the capacity is lacking because of finance. How is your finance with the government like? Are there issues that ought to be dealt with? I want you to answer that, and then we'll talk about the issue you talked about, exporting power.
Thank you very much. I hold a different view, or we are having a different experience with regards to the finance issue. Last year, around June 30th, when the IPPs were actually ready to shut down their power plant, we have actually made a decision then, but at the 11th hour, there was an intervention from the ECG managing director with an assurance to make available a certain sum of money monthly, which he has consistently made available, except January that we did not receive due to some reason that he assigned. So I would say, as we normally require that at each point in time, we require some level of funding to keep the plant operational. Once he's making that available, there is some level of liquidity to continue the operation, even though we still have issues to deal with.
Now, how big a threat are these issues you have with the government? Should we be bothered, or these are things that you can easily deal with because they are possibly recurring issues that you've dealt with in the past?
Well, we have a recurring one that has to do with our usual monthly invoices as against the backlog of the legacy outstanding debts that has to be dealt with on one hand. We have been engaging, and we are agreeing to some payment terms, but we are yet to tie the knots and have those things signed up. So that has not been done. But we are anxious to have that settled as early as possible for the agreements that we have reached to be honored, so that we are all comfortable to ensure a guaranteed supply.
Let's talk about exporting power now. You have been quoted elsewhere saying that we should not be exporting power until we fix our own local issues. Talk to me more about what your ideas are.
This is a simple matter. The sector is regulated and is governed by rules or policies. Energy Commission has said that before you enter into any export transaction, you must ensure, or you must make sure, that all the domestic demands are met. Equally, there is an industry practice that we should keep a certain level of reserve against any surge in demand. So until those requirements are fulfilled, nobody is expected to enter the export market. I am particularly worried about VRA exporting our cheap hydro resource to the export market in economies that have nothing to do with our economy. The unfair part is to be selling electricity at a cheaper price compared to how much the taxpayers, the Ghanaians, are paying for electricity in this country. This is unfair. We are in an era where we are expecting supply challenges, facing outages here and there. That is a capacity gap. If VRA can close that gap, I think the pressure should reduce a bit. Consistently, they are exporting over 200 megawatts of power, which is more or less equivalent to about 500 households being powered, on assumption that they are consuming 300 kilowatts of electricity on a daily basis. So So I see this issue as unfair to the system and unfair to the country. So we must comply to the regulation. VRS appetite for that foreign income should be regulated. They should be the first to sacrifice to ensure that the domestic challenges are met before any other business can be considered.
But there are contractual obligations that you cannot afford to not honor, so that if there's an agreement that we have signed with a company in Cote d'Ivoire or maybe the state of Cote d'Ivoire, if you suddenly decide that you're not going to supply them with power because you have domestic problems, that is a breach of contract, and you know the consequences.
Oh, definitely, but ECG must not be seen involved in such level of commercial activity. They deferred in the statement the issue that they have been doing this kind of transactions since 1972. Those are bilateral, country bilateral issues. But now, if VRA has reformed those arrangements into a proper commercial activity, I can tell you all the power that we sell to Burkina Faso, Citi, and all that are also to even other countries. Sonabel is selling to Mali. I can tell you today, Sonabel is looking for another 150 megawatts from this same market.
So let's fix our own home then before fixing other people. That's your view, and it will not affect it will not affect our relationship with them in any way.
I believe so. They should understand. They should not. That is not to say that they should cut supply to them entirely. They can reduce the volume because we have an issue at stake. And my concern is that what they are exporting is what should be the actual benefit for we the Ghanaian consumer.
Very well. Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking to us.
You're welcome, sir.
That's Eli Plim Apetogbo. He's CEO of the Independent Power Generators Ghana.